Is Islamism a problem or only its manifestation in violent extremism? Is it akin, as I say, to revolutionary communism and must be countered by a combination of security and ideological measures over the long term? Or is that to overstate it, overestimate it, and thus perversely, as some would argue, by the interventions in Afghanistan and Iraq, to elevate its appeal rather than diminish its appeal? This is a fundamental strategic question, and it needs a clear answer. The ideology, whether Shia promulgated by the Islamic Republic of Iran or Sunni promoted by groups on a spectrum from the Muslim Brotherhood through to Al-Qaeda, ISIS, Boko Haram and many others, has been the principal cause of destabilization across the Middle East and beyond, and today in Africa. Like revolutionary communism, it operates in many different arenas and dimensions. And like it, its defeat will come ultimately through confronting both the violence and the ideology by a combination of hard and soft power. And even if initial discussions center around Western nations, China and Russia also have an interest in countering this ideology, and our best allies are to be found in the many Muslim countries, including in the Middle East, desperate to retake their religion from extremism. We need also to assess our vulnerability. COVID-19 has taught us about deadly pathogens. Bioterror possibilities may seem like the realm of science fiction, but we would be wise now to prepare for their potential use by non-state actors. But Afghans did not choose the Taliban takeover. The last opinion poll in 2019 showed the Taliban with 4% support amongst the Afghan people. They conquered the country by violence, not persuasion. The barrier to nation building is usually not the people, but poor institutional capacity and governance, including corruption, over many years. And most of all, the challenge of trying to build whilst internal elements combined with external support are trying to destroy. But counterterrorism on its own won't remove an entrenched threat. We could seek a middle course. For example, in the Sahel, we could adopt a strategy of assisting countries with security, but also supporting the government's own attempts to develop their nations, because poverty and underdevelopment undoubtedly facilitate the extremists. In a way, this is what we did in Afghanistan post-2014, when NATO's mission went to train, advise, and assist. But even here, this will likely encompass more than conventional counterterrorism. We need some boots on the ground. Naturally, our preference is for the boots to be local, but that will not always be possible. It is clear now, if it wasn't before, that America has decided that for the foreseeable future, it is a very limited appetite for military engagement. After Kosovo, I initiated European defense with France. I did this precisely because I realized that without the United States, and indeed President Clinton's commitment, we could never have resolved the crisis. And today, the Balkans, relative to its history, can aspire to a peaceful future, hopefully within Europe. Yet the crisis was on Europe's doorstep, not America's. It's Europe that faces the immediate challenge from the destabilization of the Sahel. Europe is already facing the fallout from Libya, Syria, and elsewhere in the Middle East. And for these purposes, Britain is part of Europe, like it or not.